Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. A few people have commented on Chantelle Cameron leaving Jamie Moore as her trainer, especially as they've had a lot of success, including that majority decision over Katie Taylor back in May of 2023. It should have been a unanimous decision. I thought Chantelle won that fight. I think Katie won the rematch. That was a majority decision too. And there's no shame in losing to Katie Taylor in Ireland on a majority decision. I think it should have been unanimous. I think the first fight should have been unanimous for Chantelle. But whichever way you want to think of it, whichever sort of metric you want to use, they were both tough fights. And Chantelle losing a majority decision in Ireland it's nothing to be ashamed of. Now she unified all the belts. Originally she was trained by Shane McGuigan. They had a big falling out. She left. There's friction between her and Shane McGuigan that seems to be ongoing, and she had success with Jamie Moore. There aren't many fighters that have left Shane McGuigan and then gone on to as is the case with Chantelle, win world titles, defend them, unify, and so on and so forth. So the question is, why has she left Jamie Moore? Well, of course, I have no inside information, but I would say there's a reasonable chance that it's got something to do with Chantelle, her ego, the way her psychology works, the way her psyche is. I don't know what's gone on behind the scenes. She says, well, I didn't have a falling out with Jamie. Thanks a lot, Jamie. It's great. We're still fine. Got a lot of respect for you. You've done a lot for me. If that's the case, then you have to say, why has she left? Now, it might be that she genuinely wants to try new ideas. But bearing in mind that she's talking about the Katie Taylor rubber match, the third match, the decider, if you like, which is a relief that these two women are prepared to do that. Again, women showing the men how it's done. 1-1, if you win the first one and then the other guy wins the second one, you need a decider. Trilogies are one of the things that make boxing history great. It's good to see women doing it, whereas the men have been neglecting it. Like Eubank and Liam Smith, and a few others. But why has she left Moore? Well, you have to look back at her conduct and the things she said in the past to get any kind of clue. There was that incident where she didn't want a fighter trained by McGuigan to be on the same card regarding the first Katie Taylor fight at the 3 Arena in Dublin. McGuigan had a fight. Was it Ellie Scottney? I can't remember who it was. I think it was Ellie Scottney. And Katie said, "Nah, I don't want her on the bill. I don't want to be around Shane McGuigan. I don't want him on the top table. I don't want to see him. I don't like him. I don't feel safe," she was saying. There was all these strange sort of rather fuzzy half reasons or pseudo reasons she was giving as to why she couldn't be around Shane McGuigan. So I think it was Ellie Scottney. I'm not absolutely certain about that. Correct me in the comments, but I think it was Ellie Scottney and she was off the bill. She had to win her world title on a much more modest bill, and that was one of her ambitions was to fight on the Katie Taylor card and to be on the big stage and so on. And she was denied it. Why? Because Chantelle put her foot down and said, no, I'm not having Shane McGuigan anywhere near me. Okay, well, it seems a little odd, but all right. Does that indicate a sort of prima donna attitude? Does it indicate that she's got a brittle ego? Well, if she in any way blames Jamie Moore for the defeat and takes no personal responsibility for what went on in that rematch, then I think, yes, she's showing a very egotistical, rather sort of head in the sand attitude towards both defeat and the people around her who've helped her a lot. Don't forget, in the first fight, Jamie Moore came up with the tactics and Chantelle executed them. In the second fight, I assume Jamie Moore and the team as well, input from others, came up with the tactics and Chantelle executed or tried to execute them. quite simply, in the second fight, in my opinion, she was just beaten by the better woman. She was beaten by a brilliant talent and someone who wanted it desperately and was prepared to walk through fire. And Chantelle perhaps was a little bit complacent, perhaps, after the first fight, thought she could, you know, deal with Katie easier the second time, because that's often how it happens with rematches. Now, in order to hold your hands up and say, yeah, I did that, you've got to park your ego at the door. You've got to humble yourself. You've got to say, okay, I take responsibility for this. She may have done that privately, but there is still the question, okay, why get rid of more? What's gone on? Is it simply a case that, yeah, I want to try new ideas, I want to try and add strings to my bow? If so, that's a very, very risky thing to do, because you're talking about fighting certainly one of the top two female fighters in the world, and someone who people said were on the slide and who's just come back and beaten you, and who is a smaller woman. And you're probably going to have to do it at the third fight in Ireland as well, you know. So it seems like, okay, I can understand if, let's say, she lost the second Taylor fight and she had to start from scratch again. And, you know, I could understand her saying, okay, I want to try something different. But to do it at this point of her career, when she's 32 years old, coming up to what is, again, the most important fight of her career, something that will probably define her legacy, it seems like an odd time to do it, to split with more, unless they really are not as amicable as they're letting on, unless there really has been some serious friction. Because if they are, as you know, still as pally as they ever were, and it's not a case of Chantelle blaming Jamie for the defeat and not taking any responsibility for her own performance, her own actions, then what is it? What has broken them up? It's a strange one. It's a strange one. I mean, don't forget, you know, Jamie Moore and Chantelle, I mean, they've got wins over Jessica McCaskill. That was a great 10-round win. And, well, they're all 10 rounds, aren't they, because they're women's title fights. Mary McGee, that was a very good performance, I thought. I mean, I really saw some great improvements, something that was built on her years with McGuigan, with Jamie Moore. And, yeah, I'm not convinced about Chantelle's psyche, about her mentality. I think she is a little bit brittle, ego-wise. And as they say, pride goes before a fall. So, I don't know. What do you think? Comments below as normal. I'll read them. If you're new to the channel, you could subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And also the like button. Hit the like button as well. Give me your opinions on this subject. Do you think it's the right decision? And yeah, I'll read your comments and I'll answer as many as I can. Okay, thanks for your time as always. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.